Okay, so we are rolling. Hey, how are you guys? Welcome to another gear review video on my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm actually going to be reviewing this microphone here from Comica. It is called the Vimo Q wireless microphone system. Basically, the Q stands for quad because in this kit here, you actually get 4 microphones, which is honestly insane. I've actually never really seen a product out there before where you can connect 4 to the 1 receiver. Normally when I do these review videos, I'm inside of a room where it's quite controlled, the environment noise. I thought I'll do this review out in a park where just to my right, I've got some traffic going past. You'll be hearing like a fair bit of ambient noise in this video. And I thought at the same time, I'm gonna be wearing 2 of these microphones because I'll be talking about it a little bit later, but this microphone actually has a denoise function in it. Yeah, if you're watching this, I probably would recommend wearing some headphones just so you can really hear the audio and make a judgment for yourself if this is a good microphone for you or not. Now, just a quick disclaimer, Comica did send me this microphone, but they are not paying me to do this review. They are instead just letting me keep the microphone after I've done reviewing it. All right, so let's get on with the review. So as I said, this microphone is a 4 microphone system to 1 receiver, which makes life so much easier as a videographer or a content creator. This is also good for live streaming, so especially if you're connecting this into a smartphone, which you can do that. So when I was doing the unboxing, you pretty much just get this charging case here and it has all the accessories that you need. So let's just open it up so you can see what's inside. So you can see that's where the receiver would be, and then you got your 4 microphones. So you get 2 different audio cables. So one's a TRS to TRS, which is for your camera. Then you have your TRS to TRRS for your smartphone. Now, a lot of smartphones today tend to have USB-C ports or lightning ports, so you will need to get an adapter. So you just have to purchase that separately. You also get the dead cat for the microphone, so if it's a windy day, you're outdoors, you're going to get some nice clean audio in the winds, so that's very handy as well. So you get 1 for each of these microphones. Now I just want to quickly go over the features of this microphone. So it has your standard 48 kilohertz 24-bit sounds. It has up to 200 meters distance. So the main features, specifications, now I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll be putting something up on the screen now if you want to pause it. But the main features is that it's got 48 kilohertz processing to 24 bits, which is actually pretty standard for a lot of microphones. Now I know a lot of microphones out there do 32-bit float. As long as you set the levels correctly on this, you're actually going to be fine. So you don't need to stress too much about it. So I just want to talk about the battery life. So each of the receiver and the transmitter, you get about 8 hours each before you need to charge it. Now, with the charging case, you can get up to 16 hours worth. I just want to talk about the cost of the Comica Vimo Q microphone. So now this is going to cost you around 300 Australian dollars, which is actually really good considering you're getting 4 microphones in the kit. Now, to go on to the physical features of these microphones, I'm going to start off with the actual charging case itself and then move my way into the charging case. So the charging case, pretty standard. It's the charging case. You get 4 light indicators, so your 25% increment. You get the USB-C port, so that's obviously to charge it. There's not really much else. The charging case itself carries everything that you need. So I just want to quickly show you, you've got like a blue light indicator. Again, I'm not sure if you're seeing it, but it's got a blue light, so that indicates that it's in normal mode. Once it goes green, that shows you that it's in the denoise mode. So you've got your 3.5mm port to plug in your lavalier mic if you don't want to have to wear it on the collar or something like that. Now at the back of it, you've got your charging pin, so when you pop that on to your charging case, you will, it'll just charge and sync up automatically. Of course, you've got your clip here where, it connects to someone's shirt or your belt clip, whatever. At the bottom, you've got your USB-C port. This is if you want to charge it on the go and you don't want to pop it in the case. Now on the sides, this is pretty much where you're going to control a lot of the microphone functions. You've got your standard, on-off button. It also works as a mute button. So, if you're going to the bathroom or whatever, you can just mute it. Underneath that, you've got your volume up and down button, self-explanatory. So the volume up button also acts as the denoise. So you just press and hold that and that'll switch over to the green light on here. So with the receiver, it's actually a very interesting design. You've got the USB-C port at the top of it, so you can use that to charge it, of course, if you don't want to pop it back into the case. Or you can actually connect this up to a computer, your smartphone devices, and get audio direct into your computer or your smartphone. Now, when you do use the USB-C port, you don't actually have access to quad mode, so you can't separate the audio tracks. The back of the receiver, you've actually got two buttons, the on-off button, which also acts as the mode switching button. And then the other button is the pairing button. So if you lose connection, you can just use that button to pair it. And it also acts as a screen flip. So depending how you mount it onto your camera or your smartphone devices. So on the side, you've actually got two 3.5mm ports. So you have one that's your main one that you connect to your camera or smartphone device. And then you've got the other one, which is your headphone jack port. So you can actually listen to the audio coming through to make sure that it's sounding correct. But also if you are using quad mode, that's what allows you to split it into 4 tracks, essentially separate tracks, so you can individually manage each one. That's pretty much all of the physical details of each of the charging case, transmitter, receiver. So now let's talk about the modes. So you get 3 modes. So you actually get the stereo mode, mono mode, and quad mode, which is pretty cool feature. So let's just talk about the first two. So mono, you're essentially going to be able to mix it all into one track, your left and right. So all the microphones you have will just blend right in. So you just got to make sure that you have all your levels set correctly. Now, stereo mode will allow you to separate the tracks. So if you have 2 microphones, which is what I'm doing right now, it is currently in stereo mode, so I can get one of the microphones in the left channel and then the other one in the right channel. Now, quad mode is honestly the main feature, the main selling point of this microphone. So quad mode allows you to split all 4 tracks into separate audio channels. I'm actually shooting this video on the Sony FX3. So with the FX3, you get the top handle, audio top handle attachment, which gives you 2 XLR ports and 1 3.5mm ports, but it allows you to have 4 recording tracks in camera. Now with the FX3, I actually bought myself a separate cable for this. So this is a 3.5mm cable to 2 XLR ports. I'd actually plug this cable into the XLR ports, so your left and right, 1 and 2, and then I plug this into the actual receiver, and that's what allows me to split all of those microphones into each separate audio track. So then I'm able to later on, if I need to denoise, that gives me the flexibility to do all of that as a video professional. I just want to quickly talk about the tests that I've been doing. So I've tested out the distance and the denoise test. So I'll quickly go over the denoise. So the denoise, I honestly think is pretty decent. It uses the new CalMix audio processing from Comica. I don't know too much about the specifications of that, but normally when I've looked at other videos where there are microphones that has a denoise feature, I tend to hear like a tinny voice, like it really dampens the voice and makes it sound really terrible. But from my experience listening back to some of the tests that I've done, it actually sounds pretty good. Like there is a little bit of voice crushing, but straight off the bat, it does really good at dampening environment sounds. Okay, just testing out the denoiser. So I've got a train coming up. As you can tell, it's pretty loud. I'm just gonna quickly switch it over to denoise. Okay, so it's denoise, so hopefully the train's still there. Hopefully it's dampened that sound quite a fair bit. I don't know if you can see it. Probably not the best shot, but that's the train there. Let me just turn that back to regular mode. Okay guys, welcome to the official distance test for the Comica Vimo Q microphones. That distance over there probably is about 100 meters. I haven't, got my measuring tape to actually, measure it, but it's, quite a bit of distance from the camera. So you're currently hearing it from about 1 to 2 meters away from the camera. I'm actually going to do a quick turnaround. So, to see if it drops out, because sometimes with cheaper microphones, budget microphones, they'll cut out pretty much immediately from, loss of line of sight. So I just thought I'd do that. So I'm currently about maybe 10 meters away, still going backwards. But yeah, as you can see, it's quite a nice day. I'm currently standing about maybe 20 meters away from the camera. I'm going to do a quick turnaround to see if the microphone is out, and hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it's still a pretty solid connection. So the ground's still a little bit sloping down. So yeah, I'm going to keep going backwards. So yeah, I'm going to do a turnaround. So about that 50 meter mark. So just turning around, still talking. It's about 50 meters. You know, I've just noticed that it's so yeah, I'm going to turn around. So I'm going to keep walking backwards. Probably not going to walk too much further backwards just because don't really because really. But yeah, so that's the distance test. Now with the distance test, it does say up to 200 meters, but with my experience of these microphones that I've done in the past, you don't get the full distance. Now I know you get better reception when it's line of sight. You know, in terms of being a video professional, the reliability of that, I wouldn't want to rely on distance for these microphones. To wrap up this video, I just want to, give you my final thoughts, opinions, pros and cons, all that sort of stuff. So what I like about the Comica Vimo Q microphones is honestly having 4 transmitters to the 1 receiver. This actually would have came in handy for me personally as a professional. About 6 months ago when I was on a film shoot where I needed to rig up 4 actors to 1 receiver just to make things easier in the edit. But I had to get creative with, multiple recorders, internal recording, and it was just honestly a nightmare. And I had to write notes for the editor and basically apologize to the editor, be like, sorry man, we've had to rig it this way. But having something like this, especially if I had this at the time of filming it, would have been perfect. It would have made my life so much easier. It probably would have made the editor's life a whole lot easier too. Before I was sent this, I was looking into it and I was skeptical at the idea of splitting it off into 4. I didn't know that it could do that until it arrived, and I was like, oh, okay, so you can actually separate each, microphone, so you don't have to have it blended into either 2 to left and then the other 2 to the right side. You just got to have additional cables that you got to purchase separately, which is honestly fine. They're pretty cheap to get on Amazon anyway. Like the denoise function on it, I was honestly skeptical, but listening back to some of the clips, it actually doesn't sound too bad. So if you're doing a live stream and you need the denoise function, it's honestly good enough, to be passable when you're doing a live stream, especially if you're in a loud environment. So I just want to talk about the cons. Honestly, there isn't too much, but the main one for me would be there's no internal recording. So that means if I were to go, pretty far away from the camera, I do run the risk of essentially losing, important audio for, my video and stuff like that. So there is that sort of risk that you have dropouts and stuff like that and not being able to recover it. So especially this day and age when all the other mics that are coming out on the market has internal recording, they kind of missed out on the mark for the Comica Vimo Q. Maybe in the future there might be another one updated where it will have internal recording, but I feel like that's the main feature, the main thing that stops it from being the perfect microphone. It would be great if there was a safety track mode, so you are able to, you have a -6 dB lower track as a backup recording, so you can, bring your details back just in case, somebody talks too loud. To wrap up this video, Comica Vimo Q microphone is honestly a really solid microphone for social media content creators out there and even video professionals like myself. 4 audio tracks is honestly insane. You don't really get to see this in other microphones out there on the market. So, with the price of this, $300 versus, $550 for a premium microphone, if you're looking for a lower budget setup and being able to record multiple people, this microphone is honestly perfect for you. Now, that's pretty much sums up my whole review video. So again, if you enjoyed this review video, hit the thumbs up button, give me a like, all of that sort of stuff. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay notified for my next uploads. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later.